Om
Partaya
Pratibodhitam
Pratibodhitam Bhagavata
Bhagavatam
Narayanena
Narayanena
Swayam
Swayam Vyasena
Vyasena Kratitam Puranam Vinam
Madhye
Madhye Mahabharatam
Mahabharatam Advaitamritavarshini Bhagavati Ashtadashadyayini
Ashtadashadyayini
Amba
Amba
Tvamanusandatami
Dhamma
Bhagavad Gita
Bhagavad
Bhavadveshini Audio Vijanavasmi Konyosti Sadrisho Maya Vachi Dasyami Modishya Iti Bhavat Vimohitaha. I will
famous
read.
statement. Konyosti Sadrisho Maya.
There
It's
is
a
no
very
one
famous
equal to
statement.
me.
Generally used. Konyosti Sadrisho Maya means who is equal to me? Who is greater than me? That's sort of a boastful statement. It generally comes. It is very oft quoted. Yeah.
I will read first part, then you read so that you can have good energy at the end.
If you have any problem, you tell me. I will
Yeah,
read.
yeah.
No problem.
Adhyaha asmi. Adhyaha asmi. I am the one who has wealth.
Adhyaha
Abhijana.
asmi no. No, it's not Adhyaha asmi.
Adya
Adhyaha
asmi.
asmi.
Adya asmi.
Adhyah Asmi.
Adyaha asmi. I am the one who has wealth. Abhijanavan asmi. I was born in a very good family. Maya sadrishaha. Maya
Maya asmi.
sadrishaha. Equal to me. Kaha anyaha. Who else? Asti is there. Yakshye. I will perform rituals. Dasyami. I will give. Modisye. I will enjoy. Iti. Thus say. Ajnana Vimohitaha, those who are totally deluded due to lack of discrimination. Those who
The
are
footnote
total.
you read.
The word iti indicates direct speech here and stands for the two quotation marks that enclose any direct speech.
Yeah.
Those who are totally deluded due to lack of discrimination say, I have wealth. I was born in a very good family. Who else is there who is equal to me? I will perform rituals, I will give, I will enjoy. Adya here is the one who has wealth, though in a different context, it could also mean one who is praiseworthy. The only merit of the person under discussion here, however, is that he has made some money. He may think he is praiseworthy and even write a book on how to be successful in life, out of which he will, of course, make more money. But whether he writes a book or not, he proclaims, I am wealthy. And whether it is true, he also boasts, I am born in a very good family, Abhijanavan Asmi. What kind of a family? Shankara says it is a family that has had very well informed scholars for 7 generations. Saptapurusham, Shrotriyatvadi, Sampannaha. Even if it is true, what good has it done him? This person is an Asura. Everybody in India will claim to be born in the lineage, Gotra of a sage. But if he is an Asura in terms of his behavior, his family background is meaningless. Such claims are made by these people just to establish their superiority. The idea is no one can claim to have more than me, even in terms of family background. And it is not only a mute idea, it is openly expressed as who else is there equal to me? Kaha anyah asti maya sadrisha maya sadrisha.
कः अन्यः अस्ति मया सदृशः कोऽन्यो अस्ति मया सदृशः meaning of course that there is nobody. This is a
Meaning of
question
course there
tag.
is no.
Like generally see even in we have earlier studied also that what you call uh, that people be born in good family when the samskara is good. What they say, no, that suchinam srimatam gehe. We have read it before. So when people have good samskara, they will be born in srimatam gehe. Srimatam gehe means this is what the background she is talking about. So Even if you are born with a good background, unless you choose to know and unless you develop the values and all that, that Gotra and all the lineage does not help. That is why Suchinam Srimatam Gehe. If you can't wait for okay, next time I will be born by doing a lot of punya, I will be born in a good family, Suchinam Srimatam Gehe. That sort of attitude is not good, because this verse proves that. Because even if you are born, there is no guarantee that you will pursue this. You may still be an Asura Sampath, you may take that can add value to your ego. And I am born in this Gotra, Atraya Gotra is great. I hear these villages, a lot of families talk in those time, those language. Atraya Gotra is better than this Gotra, that Gotra, and all. So this is all. Even though you are born of a good lineage, unless you have the right attitude, that should help in terms of it may give you a good start, but you have to catch it and grow rather than boasting on it and just keep on telling father's name and grandfather's name and you don't do anything. You will anyway wear out. So that is what is being referred to here. Yeah. That is one of the major reasons why Varnashrama failed in India also, because they, instead of going by Guna, Karma, Vibhaga, they went by lineage. They said by birth, caste system is by birth. The caste system was not there. Varnashrama Dharma does not mean caste system. Varnashrama Dharma is Guna, Karma, Vibhaga. Saha, we have read it before. So, Swamiji has even in the latest talk which I have shared with you today evening, what you will be listening is only that, the essence of Bhagavad Gita.
Okay.
It talks about that. That's why I told Prashant, what are questions will all be answered there.
Yeah, sure.
So, so that is all not no guarantee. The superiority and all that. It's all people, they don't know the sense. Samskara can help only up to a point. You have to catch up and grow further.
Swamiji, last class's questions were clarified in that Saturday class, Saturday 6 to 6:30. I understood that.
Yeah.
That's why
It will again come.
That's why I'm not asking. That's why I'm not asking any questions today.
Yeah.
Further, he brags, "I will perform rituals. The purpose is not for anything noble, but to destroy some enemy, or at least gain some fame. Like all his other actions, this also is only for his own glorification. He wants to stand out and overpower people, and he does not mind using rituals for that purpose. Ravana did great tapas only for the destruction of others. He was a Brahmana who used to chant Samaveda, a very religious person in some respects, but because he did everything only to gain power to destroy, he was a Rakshasa. He also promises, I will give Dasyami, not for charitable causes, but for dancing girls and other enjoyments, or to establish his own superiority, because he says, I will enjoy Modisye. He seeks his pleasure in hundreds of different ways, with grand parties, a swimming pool, and all the comforts he can command. Such people are totally deluded, vimohitaha, all due to lack of discrimination, ajnana. Ajnanena vimohita, ajnana vimohitaha.
So, Ajnana Vimohitaha meaning?
Ajnana vimohitaha.
Why Ajnana is what do you call third case? That's what he is mentioning.
The manner in which they look upon themselves and their life achievements indicates one delusion after another, stemming from confused values and attitudes. Lots of songs.
अनेक चित्त विभ्रांता
मोहजाल समावृताः प्रसक्ताः कामभोगेषु पतन्ति नरकेषु शौचौ शुचौ.
Actually, it is Narake, then that apostrophe, it means Naraka Asuchau, not Suchau.
Naraka
Asuchau means
Asuchau.
opposite. Yeah.
Naraka Asuchau. Aneka chitta vibrantaha. Those who are completely deluded by many types of thoughts, moha jala samavritaha, who are covered by the net of delusion, lack of discrimination. Kama Bhogeshu, in the enjoyment of desirable objects, prasaktaha, who are totally committed, asuchau narake, into the unclean naraka, places of pain, patanti, they fall. Those who are completely deluded by many types of thoughts, covered by the net of delusion, lack of discrimination, and totally committed to the enjoyment of desirable objects, they fall into the unclean places of pain. Such deluded ones fall into unclean places of pain. From the manner in which these asuras are described here, we understand the nature of their thinking. They are completely deluded by varieties of thoughts, aneka chitta vibrantaha, in the form of concerns, anxieties, desires, anger, and so on. They are caught and covered by the net of delusion caused by lack of discrimination. Moha jala samavritaha. A net both covers and catches an object. As an animal gets caught in a net, people get caught in the spell of ignorance, ajnana, which means here failure to discriminate. That being the case, they are totally committed, prasaktaha, to the enjoyment of objects of these desires, kama bhogesh. They are deeply entrenched in the experiences of these desirable objects. Since the commitment is to fulfilling desires, they will certainly compromise the means and thus accumulate a lot of papa. As a result, they fall into naraka, which is best understood as a place of pain. The word fall, patanti, is used here because nobody wants to go there. They slip helplessly into pain. There are different types of narakas, but like heaven, they are only temporary. Any field of experience is temporary, whether it is painful or pleasant. So we have to understand that there is no eternal hell or heaven.
Yeah.
They are self-glorifying
It's
people.
all very self-explanatory. I think we all know that. Only that we have to relate to the current situation. We don't have to look at an asura of our imagination in the Puranas and all that. We have to look at around us, in us, within us. How much of it is Asuratvam is there that we have to negate. Yeah.
Though they are self-glorifying people who lack humility. Atma sambhavitaha tatabda
Yeah. Stabda means but stubborn.
madanvitaha ejante nama yajnaiste dambe
Dambena
navidi
Dambena Purvakam.
dambena avidi purvakam. Atma sambhavitaha, those who are self-glorifying, stabdaha, who are vain, conceited, mada anvitaha, who are filled with pride and arrogance of their wealth. They, dambena, out of pretension, nama yajnaihi, with rituals that are in name only, avidi purvakam, and not according to stipulation. Yajante, they perform the rituals. Those who are self-glorifying, vain, conceited, filled with pride and arrogance because of their wealth, perform rituals. There are rituals in name only, not according to stipulations out of pretension.
Pretension, out of pretension.
Pretension is TAON, right? Pretension,
Pretension is basically Damba. We have seen it before. Just to show off. Since you don't have the merit. See, everyone wants to have merit. But if you don't have merit, but still if you are very seeking merit, respect, then you will somehow pretend. So naturally pretension will follow. Once you have the urge to be respected in society, by hook or crook you will try to become respected. The crook is Dampitvam. Hook is Manitvam. So that is how it is. Hook or crook, yeah.
They look upon themselves as endowed with all the noble attributes, Atma Sambhavitaha, and speak of themselves in this way. Even though they do not have the virtues, they praise themselves as people possessed of divine virtues. They proclaim themselves as wonderful, do not have any respect for the people who are qualified to evaluate their merits. Naturally, they are very vain, stabdaha, demanding praise from others, and at the same time, themselves not able to bend down to anyone, either physically or mentally. Their own lack of humility and lack of respect for others prevents them from bending down to anyone else. As a result, they have no reverence for anything. Even if God were to appear to such people, they would not surrender unto Him, nor offer their devotion, because they consider themselves as Ishvara. Though they do not respect anyone else, they think everyone should respect them. They are filled with pride because of their wealth. Dhanam mana madanvitaha. Mana, as we have seen, is the attitude, I am to be worshipped. And Mada is arrogance. Mada is arrogance born of one's wealth, conceitedness. And they also perform rituals, which are rituals only in name. Yajante nama yajnehi. When you perform ritual,
just don't follow the stipulations, but just announce some big money and all that. Then that's called Yajante Nama Yajnehi.
when you perform a ritual, you must have Shraddha and follow the procedure prescribed by the Vedas. The technical term used in Shastra for the prescribed rules for any ritual is itika
only. You cannot, once a ritual take up, it is told in such a way, you have to only do it such way. There is no point, why I do this, why I do not, why I should do this, why I should use ghee, why I should not use oil. You should not ask like that. It's told ghee, you have to follow it. Iti kartavyata. So unless you follow it as iti kartavyata, then you are not sense. The problem is all these rituals are all palam, adrishta palam. It will come later. You are not able to see it immediately. So best way is to stick to the rituals as stipulated and do it. That's it. So because it is going to come later, you are not able to verify. So only Shraddha in the ritual will help you. Whatever for you are doing it will have some palam. Otherwise, it is very difficult. You cannot even track it. Later, if something doesn't happen, you will always say, instead of ghee, I used oil, that's why it failed. That's what you have to, finally you will reconcile yourself. So best way is to iti kartavyata you follow. Karma palam is iti kartavyata. It is stipulated in a particular manner, you have to do it that way. So, yeah.
The technical term used in the Shastra for the prescribed rules for any ritual is iti kartavyata, is given in detail, great detail in the Veda itself, along with each ritual, and all the rules that we followed meticulously. But the rituals done by them are not done according to the stipulation. They are avidhi purvaka. Why do they do that? Because of pretension. Dambena. Their aim is only self-glorification, self-promotion, showing off oneself as someone who does all the rituals. Since there is some fire involved, something offered, and some giving away of food, etc., it is called a ritual. But it is not really a ritual unless all the rules specified by the Veda are followed. Even if all the rules are not followed, but there is adequate Shraddha, it is acceptable, but here there is no Shraddha either. How is it only with reference to wealth and rituals?
No. Rituals can be for anything. For not only wealth, everything, even power, even promotion, everything. In the sense, there can be a sankalpa for anything. But when you do a sankalpa and do, there are certain vidhis to be followed. Ayushama means you have to do this. Then Sudarshana means you have to do this. It's all written. It's all.
You are frozen.
Yeah.
Hmm?
Our patient recover now.
We have lost you.
If you can hear, will you be able to hear? See, the patient is Karma.
Memma பேசுறேன்.
Huh?
Memma பேசுறேன் அப்படி.
It's okay. Now,
Swamiji, everything is frozen.
Now it's okay. Just now it became okay.
Okay.
So whatever you
So,
said for the last 2-3 minutes,
yeah.
if you can repeat it, very nice.
Now it is okay.
Yeah.
See, it is not wealth alone. Any kind of any sankalpa you do as per the any ritual that is specified, you have to go as per the stipulation of the ritual. It may be because of some lack of this kalpasastra is varying. We don't know. This priest may not know, or we might not have all the samagris may not be available. So those things, those problems may be there. But still, if you have the shraddha in what is the objective and you do it with a lot of shraddha in the ritual that I am willing to take up the whatever pala that comes from Ishvara, with that shraddha and with all the whatever is told by this Shastra and the Shastrigal, you do it with all the shraddha, with no other commitment. I will do it as per the shraddha, I will be ready to receive pala. That sort of shraddha is there, it's okay. You neither have the shraddha, nor you do it properly, and your attitude is one of showing it off. Those things, that sort of a ritual is not sattvic ritual. It is asura sampatti. It is asuri ritual. Even though the ritual is there, the act is there, but it doesn't fall in the category of sattvic ritual. So we generally think any ritual is sattvic. Any karma, any ritual, Vedic karma is sattvic. That is what we generally think. Which is not true. That's what he's trying to say. There can be a lot of gap in terms of attitude, in terms of shraddha, in terms of samagri, in terms of the dakshina you give, in terms of the qualified priest you employ. Everything comes with the shraddha and attitude. So that is what need not be for wealth, for anything. The whole thing is yajna or a ritual, how you do, what sort of an attitude. That's why. So what is important is the shraddha in terms of whether it is sattvika shraddha, rajasika shraddha, or tamasika shraddha. Tamasika and rajasika, you can't even call it shraddha. Shraddha means it should be sattvik. That we will explain further. Shraddha, there will be another big discussion on shraddha. The Shastra says shraddhavan labate jnanam, which I have discussed before also. So shraddha means it is much more than faith. It is not only in the efficacy of what you do, in terms of attitude, in terms of surrender, all that is involved in shraddha. Only when those things are there, there is a sattvika shraddha. So it's not necessarily for any particular result, wealth or something. It's not so. It's a question of how you come across, how you internally, whether you have grown, whether you are mature enough to have that sattvika in any activity, more so in the Vedika ritual activity. That's what is mentioned here. Because the Shastra talks in terms of karma means only Vedika karma. They don't talk about office and other things. Because it was not the context. In those days, the context was the Vedika karma alone was there. So that is what is being talked about. But it can be applied for other, even our own Lokika karmas also. Whether you have got the genuine intention, what we call no here. Nowadays we say genuine intention should be there, proper motive should be there. Those things are all Shraddha only. Even for Laukika karma, in this what is being talked about is our Vedika karma, because where the pala is totally adrishtam, not going to be visible to you. You only do the karma with the proper stipulation, whatever is stipulated. And the result is definitely going to come later. Whereas prayojanam, which I have told, is karma for which you will see the result immediately. If you do it with shraddha, proper attitude and properly, you will get the, otherwise it's not going to succeed. You will know that, okay, I have not done it with the proper attitude. That is why it was not fructified. All that you will know in terms of drishtapala. Whereas adrishtapala, more important that you have a shraddha. the whole Shastra, whole rituals, lot of Shraddha you have to do because it's all Adhishtapalam. Adhishtapalam you don't know even also when it is going to fructify and all. So all the more important that you have the Sattvika Shraddha. Then only automatically once you have the Sattvika Shraddha, even if there are some plus minus in the actual karma because of some various reasons, still because of your Shraddha, it will have a great weight in terms of coming out with the Adhishtapalam which you are looking for. That's what he is mentioning here.
Swami, I have a question here. With Atma Sambhavitaha.
Atma?
Sambhavitaha. Those who are
Atma
self-glorified.
Sambhavitaha. Yeah.
See,
Atma Sambhavitaha, yeah.
No, I
They
have an
they
experience.
think that they are endowed with great values and virtues. They themselves think. Yeah.
I want to share some experience. When I see somebody or something happening totally dead against what I have seen in my past or based on my past experience and knowledge, I get irritated. And I try to tell them that this is the right way. But it is self-glorifying.
It is?
Is it self-glorifying, Atma Sambhavitaha?
No, not necessarily. Because the sense, what he says is,
No, I think I will
here
repeat
it's
my
very clearly
question.
said, even though they do not have the virtues, they praise themselves. So it is basically you don't have it, but you think you have out of innocence or ignorance, you think that you know, then that is not called Sambhavitaha. Because
Okay.
it is out of genuine interest, your Shraddha is true. Only that you may not have the actual knowledge because things might have changed quite a bit, situation might have changed, but still you would have applied your old understanding and gone by that advice. And if they don't follow it, you may feel irritated, no doubt about that. But there the intention is not, you are not, what you call, you don't think that you are possessed of divine virtues and all that. To that extent, you know, you are advising, that's all. So here it is talking about he doesn't, the person does not even care whether he to check whether what he understands and uh, what he vocalizes, whether it is the right thing, whether he knows all those things, he is not willing to check. He has already assumed that he knows everything. That is the sort of thing there, Asuri Sampath we are
Okay.
talking about.
I
It's
understand.
not out of innocence because everywhere as things are changing, we don't know what applied 10 years back may not, even in industry, what applied 10 years back may not be applicable today. So we must be able to always, that's why we have to always say, to that extent I understand, to that extent I know, this is how it should be done.
Okay.
We can always say that. Once you say that, then it is not Atma Sambhavita.
Yeah.
Once you say that, to that extent I understand, this is how it was done, this is how it used to give good results. But now today you are changing all these things. Somehow I'm not happy about it. You can definitely vocalize your opinion because you already said, to that extent I understand. If situations have changed, parameters have changed, because of that they are applying, then they will have to convince you, saying that, no, these things were the parameters with which you are telling on that, but those things have changed, so that's why we are following it this way. They have to convince you. So there is always a proper dialogue. It is not out of Atma Sambhavitaha you are saying that. It is not shutting out argument or shutting out discussion. When that happens only, it is Atma Sambhavitaha. I know everything. Kon Sadrshohamaya, same as. எனக்கு தெரிஞ்ச மாதிரி யாருக்கும் தெரியாது. That is தம்பம். That is where you are not inviting discussions. You are so conceited, so it is not going to be helpful. That is what we are talking about.
Okay.
Arrogance is the Asura Sampath we are talking about. Not the general discussion. Everyone, there can be differences. There can be what you say may be correct in your circumstances. Now it may not be correct. Those things are always subject to discussion. But if you are not open-minded, you are so stubborn, that is called Atma Sambhavita. That is what we should avoid. That's what he is trying to say.
What's the same?
Some people say, I told you that day itself.
Yeah, there are always, Swamiji always used to make fun of those people. That is why he say, that is why he will say, you must always have a wife. She will always say, did I not tell you?
Yeah.
After the event. Did I not tell you is a famous statement. நான் பேச்சு சொன்னேன் கேட்கல நீங்க. So it is what they call wise what do you call wise afterthought. In the sense, after the event, people get wiser. There is always somebody to tell you. Didn't I tell you? That is all. See, that's all there in any situation. It doesn't matter. But those things are not. What is being talked about here is a very stubborn attitude. Since as long as we are open to discussion, even if there is an error, you admit the error and move on, then there is not an issue at all. The errors can be there. You may have some firm opinion based on past experience, but it may not work there. So at that time, you will be able to change your understanding and go along, accept failure and all that. So then there is no Jambustambhita. The Stamba or the Atma Sambhavitaha is a very arrogant person who, in spite of knowing what he is doing is wrong, he will insist on that. What I say is only okay. That is a sort of, that doesn't help him, that doesn't help others around. It is called Asuri Sampath. That's what he is talking about.
Actually,
Verses 18 to 20. The Lord dispatches them into Asuri yonis again and again. Aham karam balam darpam kamam krodham cha samshritaha mamatma paradeheshu pradvishanto bhyasuyakaha. Ahamkaram, egoism, balam, brute strength, darpam, insolence, kamam, enjoyment, krodham, cha, and anger, samsritaha, those who are completely given to atma paradeheshu, in their own and others' bodies, mam pradvishantaha, those who despise me, abhyasuyakaha, those who are great cavaliers. तानहं विशदक्रूरान् संसारेषु नराधमान् क्षिपां यजस्रम् अशुभान् आसुरीष्वेव योनिषु. तान् द्विषतः, those who are hateful. Dvishataha, those who are hateful. Kruran, who are cruel. Ashubhan, who are wrongdoers. Nara Adhaman, the lowest of men. Samsareshu, into a life of transmigration. Asurishu eva yonishu, only in Asuri wombs. Ajasram, repeatedly. Aham kshipami, I dispatch. Those who are completely given to egoism, brute strength, insolence, enjoyment and anger, who dismiss me in their own and others' bodies, who are great cavaliers, who are hateful and cruel, who are the lowest of men, who are wrongdoers, I dispatch them repeatedly into a life of transmigration only in Asuri wombs.
So here the most important part is, it says, who despise me in their own and other bodies. That means you are not alert. You are not alert to the being. The sense, the person who is the being in you, he is aware. He is aware of what are the things you are doing. Because your emotions, your way in which you conduct yourself, in your heart of heart you know that what you are doing is wrong. But you stunt that sort of you who despise me in their own and others' bodies. In your own self, what you know very well, but this is against dharma. But still, over a period of time, you become so insensitive to your own values. Slowly, it becomes numb. The connection with your own reality gets numb. So that is the time it goes out of hand. Then you become totally conceited and all that. You keep doing the things repeatedly wrong and all that. Naturally, as a consequence, you will be moving in that direction. Even in the future births and all that, you will be going into that. Till the time, even in a future birth, suppose you get into a situation where you are like a Vibhishana, even though you were born among the Rakshasas, still you are able to wake up to the reality, then your upward journey will start. From the Papa Yonishu, you will come back to the correct situation. So, otherwise, if you are so totally, a lot of things happen like that only. It's not that people don't know. That is why he says, you are the sense, who despise me in their own and others' bodies. Means, despise me means what? The being. The being in us which is observing what are my right things, what are the wrong things I do. It's not that people don't know. People know. But still they become repeatedly doing again and again and again wrong thing. You consolidate your attitude and everything in the Asuri Sampat. Then naturally you will move in that direction. For you to make a reverse direction is going to be a Brahma Prayatna. Yeah, Brahma Prayatna. It has to happen. Maybe in some birth, if not this birth. So don't get into that situation. Be alert to that the me in my own, their own and others' body, meaning whatever you have studied all along from the second chapter onwards. The me, the being in one should be alert to, one should be sensitive to, one should be alert to my reality. If that is there, you can correct the situation anytime. You may correct, even though you may do something wrong, you may correct it.
Yes.
You can do a Pratipaksha Bhavana or you Prayachitta, you can do and correct and come out of it. But you must allow your reality to be helping you. You should not totally strike it off. Then you will move into, you become so animalistic in your approach in life. Naturally, you become born in Asuri Sampat only. That's what he says. So, at any point in time, you can recover as long as you are alert to your reality.
All these people are completely given to these things. Samsritaha, ahankara is what accounts for the sense of individuality. In general, it is in the form of a superimposition of katrutva, the sense of agency, and bhoktrutva, the sense of enjoyership upon Atma that is responsible for this individuality. So based on this superimposition, one concludes that he is a sukhi, a happy person, or dukhi, an unhappy person. The notions which are superimposed upon the Atma and which have their roots in Ahankara are the basis of all our problems and drive our pursuits, both legitimate and questionable. But in the sense in which it is used here, there is a lot of subjectivity involved and it is therefore very well entrenched. Because it is well entrenched and given a lot of validity, there is egoism which makes these men cruel people. And these people have bala, strength of the body, mind, etc., a brute strength that serves only to trouble others. Shankara says it is a strength which is backed by their ragadveshas that is used to overpower others. Parabhava nimittam kama raga anvitam. Footnote, this bala is unlike the one that Bhagavan said was himself when he said balam balavatam chaham kama raga vivarjitam. There Bhagavan refers to the strength that's without kama and raga. Gita 7.
Yeah, that's what he has mentioned, that the 7th chapter that Ishvara is being when it is being described, he says the balam and balavatam to be kama raga vivarjitam. Whereas here, the balam and balam anvitam is based on Asuri Sampat. This is the contrast. That is contrasting with the 7th chapter, Ishvara Bhava, what you call Devi Sampat. Devi Sampata is contrasting with balam can be there in both the cases, but balam is backed by what? Balam, if it is kama raga vivarjitam, then that is satvika balam. If it is because of by kama raga dvesha, then it is a that's the difference.
And they have darpa, insolence,
Maybe.
which makes them cross.
Let me read. Shall I read? And they have darpa, insolence, which makes them cross the bounds of what is proper or improper. Being committed to objects of enjoyment, kama, naturally there will be anger, krodha, when they are not fulfilled. Once this type of ahankara is there, these few things, darpa, kama and krodha, will automatically come along with it. It is like a kingpin of the underworld. Wherever he goes, you will find his henchmen. Here, darpa, kama and krodha are the henchmen of the well-entrenched rajas, predominant ahankara of this type.
Rajas predominant ahankara of this type.
Rajas predominant ahankara of this type. Even if such people come to know that the things they are pursuing will not help them gain what they really want, and there is only one there is only Parameshwara indwelling their own and other bodies, knowing whom their problem will be solved, they oppose and despise that very one who obtains in their own body as well as in all other bodies as Satchit Ananda. That being so, despising Parameshwara, Pradvishantaha, they transgress the universal mandates of Ishvara. What is to be done and what is not to be done is very easily appreciated just through common sense. Since it is not created by any human being but innately known by all, we call it the order of Ishvara. The people being discussed here transgress these universal ethics and of course those that are mentioned in the Shastra. The transgression is considered the hatred of Ishvara and conversely following Dharma becomes a kind of worship of Ishvara. All ethical people, though they may not recognize Ishvara, are worshippers of Ishvara.
So basically, that's what the Hiranyakasipu and all that. It is not that he didn't know; he was aware. But in spite of this, he was so much drunk by his own ego and all that. He was willing to, till the time he is put down by Narayana himself. He moved into a zenith of arrogance, completely. Where zenith of arrogance means there is only one way to go. Once you reach the bottom of the pit, there is only way to go, only up. That means the same way Hiranyakasipu also, the zenith of arrogance, finally Bhagavan had to intervene and all remove all his arrogance. So that is how finally it will happen. But you don't have to wait till then, because they are called archetypes, in the sense the worst case scenario. Worst case scenario is generally quoted in Purana and all that. We don't have to wait for that. It's only explaining how we should not grow, where we should recover and all that. So that is what he says, that the Ishvara in each one of us, if we are, it is something only very natural for us to identify and grow. And so if you don't do that, naturally a person who is able to be ethical, even though he may not understand, is able to be devoted to Ishvara. Okay, it's all happening in Ishvara's presence only. I should not do anything wrong. Even that sort of ethical people itself will be glorified compared to even this Asura Sampat. So, may not be a totally a Siddha Shattva and all that, but still you are much better off compared to the Asuri Sampat. That's what he's trying to say. Yeah.
Actually, even this Ravana will go and ask Shiva for Parvati and then he will take Mandodari and go back to Lanka, right? That will also
Yeah,
story.
sense. It's all the sense. There are archetypes like Prana itself tells you that once you, even though you might have some good values, good capabilities, and all that, once the Asuri Sampat takes over in terms of attitude, Shraddha, and all that, all your good qualities also get subterfuge. Totally, they get drowned in the noise, the cacophony of your ahankara and all that. So naturally, that's why it's called predominance. It is not that all of us have some rajas, tamas, and everything is needed. You have to have tamas for you to have a good sleep. You must have a rajas for you to do some active work, physical work. So sattvika is thinking. So all of us is a mixture of sattva, rajas, and tamas. Only that you predominantly sattvic in your attitude, and that is what is called. It is a varnashrama dharma, brahmana. Brahmana means predominantly thinking. Warrior administrative means predominantly active, rajasic. And people who don't doing the labor work, predominantly tamasic. Both are, all the three are required. Definitely for society as well as in any field of activity is required. But only that every one of us have to grow in terms of guna and karma to sattvic. Finally, we have to grow into sattvic, because we will be finally left with only that. When we grow older and older, you are only the mental faculty alone will be there. Physical faculty and your everything will die down. So best is to, when you are ready, you must be able to sharpen your thinking capability, so that even when you are silent, you are physically not capable, still you will be in good space, mind space, where you will be able to have that space, inner space, you will be able to be with Ishvara within you, rather than getting perturbed by what you are not able to do outside because of your old age and all that. You will not be worried because you are one with Ishvara. So that's what he is saying. There is already there. Only that we, because of our arrogance, we stunt that Ishvara within. So you get so used to it, you get lose sight of it. Then thereafter you have to take another birth to come back to the Sattvika, which we should not allow. That's what he says. Yeah.
Further, those people of Asuri disposition,
Asuri.
Asuri
Asuri.
disposition are great
Asuri.
carriers.
Asura eva asura. Asura meaning, the emphasis is to the disposition is called Asuri Sampada. Asura is the person. Asuri is the disposition of that person. Yeah.
Further, those people of Asuri disposition are great cavillers. Abhyasuyakaha. If someone has some virtues, they will try to find out and point out some defect. Seeing the merits of others makes them feel small, and to counteract that, they will look for what is lacking in the person. They particularly cannot tolerate the qualities, lifestyle, disciplines, and values of people who are spiritual speakers and who follow Dharma. What does Ishvara do with such people? All these people who live a life opposed to Dharma and are inimical to the people who are following a life of Dharma, Ishvara dispatches them to a life of samsara. It is not that he despises them as they do him, but they have earned these results which are given to them in full measure. These people who transgress Ishvara's mandate are cruel krura and are the lowest of men, naradamas.
Naradamas, yeah, Naradamas. Naradama. Even Adama among the Naras. Even people who are already Nara and Adama, worse than that. Yeah.
Naradamas. Because they do not make use of the viveka, capacity to discern what is right and what is wrong. The plural samsareshu indicates the many different births they will take, one after the other, ajasram, perpetually. Because they have gathered so many karmas, they cannot fulfill all of them in just one birth, janma. Even if they are born as a human being, it is also samsara, but for some time these people will be born only in asuri wombs. Asuri wombs. Asurishu eva yonishu. Because in their human birth they pounced like tigers and kicked like donkeys, stung like scorpions and gobbled voraciously like varieties of animals, they get the chance to live in a form where they can exhaust that very cruelty. They will become objects of fear. Anything that frightens you legitimately like a snake that is poisonous and merciless is an Asuri Yoni. As a human being with the capacity to think and to choose, I am supposed to heed my conscience and follow Dharma. If instead I become a terror for everybody, the law of karma, which is perfect in its justice, will place me in an Asuri Yoni next time. Therefore the Lord says, I dispatch them into Asuri Yonis again and again. Kshipami ajasram Asurishu eva yonishu. Asuri Yoni ma panna. Munda janmani janmani. You want to say something, Swamiji?
No. Carry on.
Asurim yoni ma panna muda janmani janmani mam prapyaiva kaunteya tato yantyadadam gatim. Kaunteya, O son of Kunti. Again he came back. After a long time, Kaunteya is coming back. Kaunteya, O son of Kunti, Arjuna. Asurim yonim, the womb of an asura, apannaha, obtaining, Janmani Janmani, in every birth, Mudaha, those who lack discrimination, Mam, Aprapya Eva, certainly not reaching me, Tataha Adamam, lower than that, Gatim and end, Yanti go. Kaunteya Arjuna, those who lack discrimination, obtaining the womb of an asura in every birth, certainly not reaching me, go to an end that is even lower than that. Those are people. These are people,
yeah.
who lack discrimination even with reference to what is to be done and what is not to be done. Such people obtain births in the wombs of asuras not once but repeatedly because they have gathered so much papa that one birth is not enough to exhaust it. Thus they are born as carnivorous animals or some other form in which tamas is predominant in order to experience cruelty. In such forms, there is no viveka. The tiger does not think it is cruel, nor does it want to change. This type of discrimination is the privilege of a human being, which they did not exercise in their human births, and therefore they keep going to lower and lower wombs where there is no viveka. This goes on for some time until all the consequences of their wrongdoings are exhausted. Because of their behavior in their human birth, there is no question of gaining Ishvara. Swamiji, now suppose one person is reading Bhagavad Gita and everything, but he is showing lot of superiority, At the same time, he is alakaichifying all the people who come and meet him and everything. And at the same time, he's showing a lot of attitude. Now, that person does punya in many sense by having lot of punya, and also does papa in many other ways by doing papa. Now, that type of person will go under this category or the first category we talked about.
No, in the sense it is very much possible. It's not a question of what do you call. Ultimately, what is where your shraddha lies. In the sense, you might have done, as he rightly said, a lot of dhanam and all you may be doing, lot of good work and all you may be doing. But what is the attitude? What is the shraddha he has? If it is a predominantly to put down others, to show off, then it is asuri sampat only. Even if you do, that is why he says, even dhanam, rituals, it may appear like dhanam and ritual when you do great philanthropist, great lot of money is spent on doing rituals and all. But what is the shraddha with which he is doing? Whether he is doing it to show off, whether he is doing it to put down others, or whether he is doing with an idea to to win over somebody and be cruel in his actual handling of the people. Even while doing shraddha, he may not really care for the priests and all that. He will treat them like that. He will not give them properly. And just because he gives them money, he will treat them. See, finally, ultimately, that's what he says. It's not the actual act is not important. The shraddha. That is why the whole thing is talked about in terms of the internal quality. The shraddha with which you do. If it is the scale is favoring towards tamas and rajas and asuri sampat, then it will be like, okay, they may not they may not be cruel, but they may have that may be being cruel is worse than being a dambi and doing it for just to show off and all that. But there is a gradation there. But still, it is not just because you do a lot of charity and a lot of rituals and all that. It doesn't guarantee that your sampati is devika sampati. It's not so. It's a question of again attitude. Internal disposition is what is being stressed, not exactly the act. So what is the act is not important. What is the shraddha? What is the internal disposition that is? So that one can never judge. Only that we have to ensure that whatever we do, whether it is any ritual or whether we do any act of kindness and all that, what shraddha we do is very important. That is why our sankalpa, our shraddha with which we do, we have to focus more on that rather than what we are doing. We may not be able to do great rituals, we may not be able to do great charity. Kanganam gattindu poi charity pannungadilla. But whatever you do it with a lot of shraddha. The sense you give without expecting any return. Like, okay, I am capable of giving. Here is a person who is willing to receive the money, he wants some help, I am giving, and I forget it. I am not whether he tells thanks to me or whether he is going to return to me my favor. All those things, without those attitude, even little small help you do, even that will be Devi Sampat. So that is one sense you have to judge. This will be alert to that. The whole thing is, the discussion is to ensure that how we can retain that correct attitude, whether it is a Sattvika Sampat, whether it is a Rajasika or Tamasika, we have to make a judge purely for judging ourselves in our actions and ensure that we don't get into such situations where all the qualities, negative qualities that have been described. That is why the purpose of this whole thing is not to, because we never know what is the intention with which someone does it, especially people, corporate people or moneyed people, what they do, what shraddha they have, we don't know. So we don't have to really judge them. We have to only take care. Whatever we do with the proper shraddha. It is very important.
And one more clarification, Swamiji. Now, in some places where you go for doing Sandhyavandanam in a group, right? What they are doing, actually, our Shastra says that Panchapatram Tanni should be completely thrown away when you give it to another Brahman to do Sandhyavandanam. But what they are doing, they are telling, no, waste of water, Cholita, Ade Tanniye, they are giving us to do Sandhyavandanam. We have the Shraddha and doing the Sandhyavandanam, but what happens? We end up doing some papa by using the same water, whatever previous elder used or something.
Yeah, that's all not done. That should not be done actually. It's not. Water, you have to throw it and then take fresh water. It's proper only. They should not do all that. It's all not correct.
And
it's all a problem. The people who advise Sastrigal also, they don't really advise properly. All those things are not correct. You have to take fresh water only.
And one more, Swamiji.
Okay, you can don't throw it down. Put it in a bucket and use it for some other purpose, washing or something. So don't throw it down. You put it in a bucket where all people who have to throw their water there, and you can use it for washing and all that, not for doing sandhyana. See, there is always you can make use of the water properly. These are all not. That's where that is where these days all rituals and all that, everything has got. Because the Kalpa Sastram and the way in which people follow the Sastra and all are very, very highly, that there is something called mass religion, there is something called true religion. True religion is supposed to be Arvachinam, Prachinam, whereas mass religion is supposed to be Arvachinam. What is followed in the last 1,000 years is all Arvachinam, whereas Prachinam is the true religion. So what to do? We are now in that period where things have got corrupt. So to that extent possible, to that extent we know we have to correct the situation and keep doing it. So that is why we should not play too much reliance on these rituals and all that. Most important is what Shraddha you have, whatever you do it correctly to that extent, don't get hooked to a particular ritual and all that. Those things are not, they are not efficacious anymore. Do it, whatever proper Shraddha, proper what do you think? Even chinna vishayam pannalum, and we do it with good attitude. That is important rather than get caught up in big rituals and all. Very important these days. That is why these days these are all more relevant. Vedanta as well as Gita is more relevant today than 50, 100 years back. Because that time the society was structured. If you just go by what is told, Vidhi, you would have survived still as a good dharmic person. But today everything is totally vitiated. So now it is more important that you judge, make a proper judgment about what you are doing. What you are doing is not important. With what Shraddha, with what attitude, what you are doing is more important than what you are doing. Because things have moved in that direction. That is where all these things are more important. Viveka. So that's what he is saying. Viveka is very important. Discrimination, proper inquiry into the whole thing is very important. This one. Okay. You just finish up this para.
Yeah, okay.
Close.
I have one other question, but I will. Is it okay? I will ask that and then we'll close the class, or we read this one para and I'll ask.
Where are we stopping?
Shankara says there is no suspicion or
Let us start from Shankara says.
Okay, from there we have to start.
Yeah.
From there we have to start.
Yeah.
Okay, that para Shankara we have to start. Okay.
Yeah.
You asked the
Actually, Swamiji, some people did not know in their lifetime that they had to do Shraddham and also they didn't know. Now they came to know with the knowledge and then they are doing it with all Shraddha for the Shraddham. Some people are doing Shraddham along with their brothers in one house itself. But later when they come to know at the age of 50, 60 that they are supposed to do separately because they are living nuclearly, still they don't want to do that. They are afraid of the elder, or they are afraid that, if I do then that person will mistake me, and they keep on committing the same papa by doing the Shraddham along with the brother continuously like that. Now what do we do in such cases? Now that type of person, if I was the person, should I concentrate on the ritual or should I concentrate on the Shraddha on the ritual in such a way that God forgives me even though I am doing it as a group? He will not put me in papa.
No, these things, these are all basically very, very, since only the people who are the Shastrakara, they will be able to advise. But what you have to, suppose even if you are, I have also seen people who are initially younger brothers and all that, they will all, brothers, joint family will be there, they will do it together. Later, once you have a separate kitchen, what they say is Shastra is, once you have a separate kitchen, then you must do your Shraddha separately. As long as the joint family, it's okay. So at that time, you must be able to convince the elder person. See, Shastra itself says that since I have got a separate kitchen, I live separately, I should do it separately. Then the brother also should be happy. The elder brother also should be equally happy that, at least the younger brother is having the Shraddha now. Okay, instead of one person offering Shraddha, 3 people offering Shraddha to the ancestors, will have 3 times benefit and all that. So, you must be able to convince. The idea is, you are doing it with Shraddha and the elder person should be able to understand what the younger person shows Shraddha. The elder person must be able to appreciate, go ahead and do it. These things are all very important. But if you are not able to convince and all, you are not, if you are not, suppose the elder brother may feel you may not do it properly, you don't know. He may just do Namki Vaste, he may do. He may feel that he may not be able to tell you, but he may feel that, the younger brother's family is not having a conducive place. where acharam and all may not be there. So he may not be able to tell that to that family. He will say, no, no, don't worry, you be here. So there, the elder person is correct also, in a way. So it's all. So we don't know what exactly is the. That is why I'm telling what is important, what is the motive, what is the shraddha, what is the attitude. All that is important. What exactly you do is not important. What is it motivating you to do? That is very important.
Okay,
Just for sake of, I want to show that I am also doing. If you are not going to do it correctly, it's better to do it with the brother.
Okay, Swamiji. Because we
Who is
learn
doing
this.
it with more shraddha.
Yeah, we learn this concept of Bhadram Pushpam Toyam. What is happening is now everything is being considered Bhadram Pushpam Toyam like that. So,
No, there again, see, Patram Pushpam Toyam is very much very valid, I tell you. But when you are capable of doing something more, with some shraddha, you are able to do some more dhanam, more rituals, more you are able to learn more chanting, and properly you must be able to do. In the sense that will increase your shraddha, your attitude, or your mind space in terms of dwelling on Bhagavan, all those things. So you allow it to grow on yourself. For that reason, if you, that's why instead of, they say, see, kayena vacha manasi triyerva, all the three limbs are involved, your shraddha will be very total. Because why? Initially, when all the three limbs are involved, kayena vacha, because you are so much distracted in society, for you to start your rituals properly, you have to bring in all the three. But as you grow more and more mature, then even if you do chanting properly is enough. Later, even if you do Manasika Puja is enough. Siva Manasa Puja and all. Because it all depends on the maturity or the way in which you have grown internally. It will reduce the activity, but it will increase the Shraddha. So it all depends on where you find yourself. It is not exactly whether Param Pushpam Toyam, whether you are doing it when you are already mature enough, where you where you don't have the wherewithal, where you don't have the proper circumstances, samagri is not there, but at the same time your Shraddha has reached a level which is very, you are always able to be with Bhagavan all the time. You are already into the studies and you want to spend more time with your studies and all that. You don't want to get into ritualistic. At that time, Pushpam Toyam is enough.
Okay.
But still, you are mentally, you are more Bhagavan.
okay.
So it all depends on the Shraddha.
Okay,
It's
Swamiji.
not as an excuse, but in terms of Shraddha.
Okay.
Why? The whole thing is talking about the internal disposition, the whole Shastra. Here, that's why you can see in Gita or any Upanishad also, they never talk about Sitila Devi and Hanuman and Vadamala and all that. They talk about only Ishvara. Ishvara is the thing, whichever be the deity, whichever be the form. If your Shraddha is there, you are able to be in communion with Ishvara, the being, which he says, I am only Antar Drishtadi. What is there in you is what is there in the idol also. You must be able to resonate. The being in me and the being in the form is one in doing arati and all that. So that sort of a resonance, that sort of a, what you call Bhagavata and Bhagavan relationship is very important. Not exactly what is a murti, what is a puja and all that. What is important is the oneness between Ishvara and you initially and later Ananya Bhakti. And when Ananya Bhakti is reached, Ishwaroham, you don't need a deity also. Just be with yourself, Purnam. That is enough. That will eventually, because all of us, as we get older, we will not be able to do all that. By that time, we should be ready to be like that. So that is where ultimately Bhagavan, the whole thing has developed in such a way just to be with you, one with Ishvara in you, is the objective of that. Is what is freedom, that is what is moksha. Not going somewhere.
Okay.
So let us get into that. Om.
Thank you.
Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya
Purnamadaaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om
Shanti, Shanti,
Shanti.
Hari
Hari Om.
Om.
Sri Gurubhyo
Gurubhyo
Namaha.
Namaha. Hari Om.